James Barnes Business. I want to do a deep dive into what just happened in Senate District 19 and why that matters to Bexar County as a whole. We are getting ready to step into the primary elections. Before November, we'll have another opportunity. We'll have the primary, we'll have the May elections to measure out what the general attitude is of folks. Maybe we'll have a special election somewhere, but elections are telling, and they tell us what people think. When we were going into the 24 election, we were pretty confident that people were saying, hey, we want something different, and we got that out of that election. But here we are today, and what are people saying in Texas today? And I'm gonna take a look at this SD9 race and really just kind of take I'm gonna keep it simple. The whys of why we lost and this and that, and that's a different conversation. But what we need to know that something happened, and it matters to us here. And what do we got to do to resolve? Not resolve, but be prepared that it doesn't happen here, because it's basically it's going to, if we do not put that countermeasures, and that's politics. If you don't close the floodgates open, and it's going to come on down. So we have, let's go through it real quick. We have the January 26th special election. Republicans got 43, Democrats 57%. Why is that significant? Because that has never been a Democrat stronghold. It's never been. This is Tarrant County. They're about exactly the same size in the number of voters as we have, but they've always been a conservative stronghold. We have not. We've always depended on them to carry some of that weight for us as if you're a Republican. And so here we are, and that was in 2022, right here, look at this, 2022, that was a 60% Republican, 40% Democrat. That's a huge swing. And it's not insignificant. You might say, well, it was a special and you had a certain percentage turnout, but it doesn't work that way, because what happens is we all are pushing north. When the Democrats are trying to get their people out, we are trying to get our people out. So it's a measure of that, even if it's a low turnout. Who turned out, who got it. We don't lose conservative strongholds because of low turnout. We just don't, unless there's a problem in the conversation. So, and let's look what Trump did. Trump in 24, same spot. Now I don't have his map for the Senate District 19, but for Tarrant County. But you can make out the same space, and you can see that he actually, I have some numbers here for the precinct wins. Trump won 233 precincts of the 380 precincts. That's a great number. That's 61% of the precincts Trump won. And then if you look at the 22 election, that we had it was 50% of the precincts were won by the Republican. And then so if you take it into the 26 just now, that is going down. That's 22% of the precincts. So you'll see the maps like I'm showing here, that it's just it's completely flipped almost in a lot of ways. And so why is that important to Bexar County? What can we do? We're very similar to them, the county in size. Demographics is different here in Bexar County. So I think that this actually would be even the voter enthusiasm, because let's say it this way, because they're more conservative. That they do push harder than, say, Bexar County in a lot of ways. They have some really great organizations, and the way they pull the whole thing together is different than Bexar County, completely different than how the Bexar County GOP operates, and which is because we are not the same people. But I will tell you this: their enthusiasm in Tarrant County is greater than ours here. And so, if their enthusiasm could not hold the line, then what is our enthusiasm going to do when they have a bigger wave possibly coming in our area? And so, those are things we need to consider. I'm not saying we can't come up with solutions, but we could tell. We could look out the window and see that there's a wave of enthusiasm. And let me end with this. I've been in this game long enough. I got elected onto the SREC, the State Republican Executive Committee, and that was before the Tea Party wave. So it's sometime in '08. got elected. And in 10, we had the Tea Party wave after Obama got elected. And that's what's happening right now. We're having the same level of enthusiasm coming out of the Democrat Party. They've taken a shellacking. Trump came in, he had policies, he's pushing hard on his policies, and it's really, really getting people motivated on the ground. Whereas we might still be trying to figure out, who we are, are we on this team or that team? They know where they're at, they know what they're doing. And regardless if we agree to their policies or not, they are going to congregate and show up. And as you can see in this right here, you went from really, really red to really, really blue. And in 2024, November was just like, a year and change away. So what does that mean to us? Well, that's what I'm saying. Call me. Let's talk about it. Let's make sure that we're at least aware of where the floodgates are, where we need to shore up, what precincts are vulnerable, and let's make sure that you have a plan, or we have a plan that can, help your organization. If it's a campaign, if it's a nonprofit, let's get out into the streets and make sure we know exactly what's happening so that we can win. Let's do it. Come on. Barnes Business.